I think it's really nice to look back on how productive I was in my college years. So I did 1 year of art design foundation in Glasgow. Because the course was mainly just all about the practical stuff, we didn't do much writing. For me, it was all I was doing was just artistic trances. The fact that I was able to focus on my art and the fact that I was able to churn out drawings and photographs at the time, the fact that I was able to focus on that and do 2 residencies as well, at House for an Art Lover in Glasgow and also at Skye, I Love Skye as well, in the local uni there. That for me was a really valuable experience, and that's definitely something I look back on fondly, how productive I was before it came to uni, where you had like series deadlines and much more writing, which kind of slowed down the process of art because you had to adapt your process to like a submission. Well, you still do everything as usual, but it has to be like for that particular submission as well. So that's a really nice thing to look back on for me. So for me, mainly, I focus on the relationship between photography and drawing, like the interplay between both. The start for me was, with my artistic journey, was actually like an accident, and a lot of my work actually focuses on like serendipity and accidents. Back in 2017, so when I was moving from like a suburban town in Scotland, it's called Clydebank, to like Glasgow. So during that time, I was just being exposed to the city much more often because I was obviously living in Glasgow. So I was able to just go on like long walks all around the city. So I was just doing a lot of photography then. And for me, the accident of swiping my phone and creating this light pattern. So for me, that was the kind of first point of contact when I seriously started making contemporary art. I also do curation at the moment. I study a degree in curation at Whitechapel Gallery. For me, that's a thing I've been focusing on recently. I recently done an exhibition in Bristol, just of young up-and-coming talent. All my friends, we wanted to do something, and then I also do a lot of installation art as well, quite often. That's why I exhibited in my exhibition in Bristol. That's why I exhibited in my final year of studying fine art photography at Camberwell College of Arts. Pretty much a mishmash of everything, but mainly photography and drawing. With this image, there's a whole set of stories attached to it. It started off actually with my 2 friends over here. And then another thing is, how the screenshot actually turned out. It's really fascinating because I was editing these images as part of a Word document, and then what happened was they arranged in this weird way. And then these lines at the top are actually just come from the fact that I'm highlighting text which is underneath the image. So that is exactly why it happened like this. But I also enjoy these really little intricacies, like this kind of like image of like just random 6 in the corner. It's just really incredible how it organically turned out. I decided to work with this image after my uni experience. It was a really strong set of images. I was really pleased with them. It was one of my favorite photo shoots that I've done with people. And while I know how to take screenshots more high resolution now, at the time I obviously didn't, perhaps, but I'm still really pleased with the way it turned out. And as lucky as I was with the printing process for it to not lose too much quality. So actually what happened after that is this image continued its story, and I paired it up with these 2 images for an exhibition at the Holy Arts Gallery. And I really enjoyed just the process of finding the image that to pair this with. For me, these 2 are a natural choice. Them 2 are just mirror images, the original being this one. it is very faint to see it on a video format, but you can see like little stars in the background as well. They're very, very minuscule, but it just shows how clear the sky is in my hometown. It's not really a polluted city. It's surrounded by forest. It's a beautiful hometown. I do love it. And it was really nice for me to come back on holiday and take those images and capture like the texture of a tree, while also the interesting kind of shape of the Virgin Mary's. I guess like the flow of it and the way the sculpture was created. Quite often in my college years I done sensorial drawings, which is that's one demonstration. I would often react to some textures. So for example, in that case, I would create a sculpture, and then I would essentially, my process is usually touching the sculpture, having my eyes closed, and drawing as I'm touching, basically. And that is the result, this kind of image. The way I work is, you know, for example, like the texture of the stubble. For example, I would like match that to the texture of the pencil. I don't really mind which color, as long as overall it correlates to the others. Yeah, but then to be honest, you can see like a nose here as well. Yeah, it's a really fun process for me to work with. You know, having my eyes closed for majority, if not all of the time, and then not knowing how it will turn out. So these two previous ones, as well as this one, are all sensorial drawings from Hus for an Art Lover residency, which was in Glasgow. Yeah, I would just sit in the studio there and have an easel and do these drawings. Yeah, and then after that I would layer them on top of photography that I've done, which you'll see in a moment. For my final installation for the exhibition that we had, I started layering drawings on top of some photographs, and the photographs were of a glass sculpture. It basically like has 3 cubes and all of them are a different color, purple, blue and green. What I did was I came back every single day of the residency. Every single day was like different weather, different lights. Sometimes it was raining, sometimes it was dark. I would come back every single day, maybe a number of times in a day, to the same sculpture, and I would document it. And some of the photos you see are part of my installation are a result of this documentation, and then also the layering of the drawings. The next artwork as part of the installation in Bristol was a piece that was reacting actually to the natural landscape just around Bristol. I found this patch of land where they had this particular tree. It's called an alder tree, and yeah, it took a while for me to figure it out on Google and stuff. There's like particular cross sections of this tree that they had, and they just had this deep, intense red color that I really enjoyed, and that's why I documented in these photos. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the result. So it's actually a triptych of all these images. So that was the middle image. This one is like an abstract kind of photograph of, actually taken from a screenshot of a video that was taken while I was taking a video of the tree cross section, and I really enjoyed like how the water was like dripping down on it. I was able to capture like the huge gamma of colors, just like red alone, and the textures as well. Really enjoyed the process. This image here, and then also the other image there, which you'll see in a moment, were just placed along the side of the main abstract photo. Here I was just meticulously, painstakingly had to separate out this chunk of wood from the tree stump, and what happened then was I made the border black, so then it just appears much more vivid. I'm really pleased how it just brings out the textures, it brings out all the variety of colors, and also like all these whites from the light alone as well, and particular dots and just minuscule detail. So for me, like to be able to shoot in RAW, like when I'm perhaps like not planning something, not planning a photo shoot, for me it's really useful. in situations like this, so I can still take really quality photos. Again, just really like impressed by like just how it is like a painting in its own right. I'm looking at it and it's just the curvature of it, like the marks from the cutting, as sad as it is, of course, but it's also really worth documenting. It is an artwork in its own right, the tree. And again, this was the same process as in the previous one that you saw, just cutting out the particular tree stump, and again just bringing out these textures. Yeah, I really enjoy actually how just these particular parts, which almost look like they're not supposed to be here, it doesn't really look that 3D anymore as it maybe does in like the original photo, like this one here or this one. They seem quite randomly placed. The most difficult part for me is actually starting, because I have a lot of ideas floating around very often. Deciding which idea to do in the current moment amidst all the other every day that I have influences, then for me it can be quite difficult to pinpoint the idea. That's the most compelling for me to work on more. Other than that, I do sometimes criticize myself, like if I do something perhaps when I know and I should have done something better. So for example, if I'm out somewhere and my photograph didn't turn out the way I wanted to, because maybe like I missed a person coming by and I really wanted that person to be in that particular frame at that particular moment. It's things like this, but in a way, you know, I still work with any accidents, any kind of whatever happens, and yeah, but that's the most difficult things for me. Of course, like I want to continue my art practice to inform myself in the world around me. At the moment, I'm very interested in like environmental issues. That's what my recent exhibition in Bristol focused on. I think that's really crucial for me, to see how I can like help like environmental issues through my practice, but also how to continue my curatorial practice as well, and how they can coexist together with the curation and the art. For me, my dream is to have my own gallery or a series of galleries, and just basically have a space where like an artist's own gallery perhaps for the start, and just know that I have something to work with. Don't have to sit in this cramped room and paying for a studio or something. I would like to have like my own gallery space where I can just experiment with all these ideas.